Have you ever felt as though you're walking through a thick, gray fog while everyone else around you seems to possess a high-definition map of the next 10 years? There is a specific kind of modern weight that sits in the chest, a quiet, humming anxiety that arrives when someone asks, "So, where do you see yourself in 5 years?" We've been taught that if we don't have a blueprint, we're drifting. We've been told that clarity is a prerequisite for movement, but what if that's the very thing keeping us paralyzed? What if the most honest answer to the future is simply, "I don't know"? And what if that answer was actually the beginning of peace? Elias sat at his kitchen table, the blue light of his laptop screen reflecting in his glasses. It was 3 in the morning. On the screen was a spreadsheet, its cells labeled with years and career milestones, savings targets, and life goals. It was a map of a life he felt he was supposed to be living, yet every time he looked at it, the room felt smaller. He felt like a traveler trying to memorize a mountain range from a photograph, terrified that if he didn't know every peak and valley now, he would surely fall when he arrived. He closed his eyes and listened to the low, steady hum of the refrigerator. The silence of the house felt heavy, as if the walls were waiting for him to make a decision. Restless, Elias stepped outside onto his small porch. The night air was cool and carried the scent of damp earth and distant wood smoke. His neighbor, an older man named Julian, was sitting on his own steps, a small lantern glowing beside him as he polished a piece of driftwood. Julian didn't look up, but he sensed Elias's presence. He asked quietly if the numbers on the screen were still refusing to add up. Elias leaned against the railing and confessed that it wasn't the numbers, it was the gaps between them. He felt he couldn't start his new project, the one he truly cared about, because he couldn't see how it would end. He couldn't see the 5-year mark. He felt stuck on the bottom step because the top of the staircase was lost in the dark. Julian stopped polishing and looked out into the garden. He picked up his small lantern. He pointed out that the light only reached about 3 feet in front of them. Beyond that, the garden was a wall of black. He asked Elias if he could see the garden gate from where he sat. Elias shook his head. It was far too dark. Then Julian asked a simple question. Does the fact that you can't see the gate mean it isn't there? Or does it just mean you haven't walked far enough yet? He explained that we often mistake a lack of visibility for a lack of a path. We demand the whole staircase be lit before we'll even lift a foot. But life doesn't work in floodlights. It works in lanterns. A lantern doesn't show you the destination. It only shows you the next step. And surprisingly, that is all you ever need to be safe. Elias stood there, watching the small circle of light on the grass. He realized he had been spending all his energy trying to invent the sun, hoping it would illuminate his entire future in one bright flash. He had been so obsessed with the 5-year plan that he had forgotten the 5-minute reality. He thought about his project, the simple, creative spark he had been suppressing because he didn't know if it would become something. He took a deep breath, the cool air filling his lungs, and for the first time in months, the tightness in his chest loosened. He didn't need to know where the path ended. He only needed to trust the small circle of light around his feet. As you listen to this, perhaps you are carrying your own spreadsheet. Perhaps you are staring at a dark staircase, waiting for a sign that it's safe to climb. Ask yourself, What is the very next step? Not the goal, not the career peak, not the 5-year destination. Just the single, small movement you can make right now. Can you be okay with not knowing the rest? Can you find a sense of grace in the fog? The art of not knowing is not about being lost. It is about the bravery of moving forward when the map is blank. It is the realization that peace doesn't come from having all the answers. It comes from no longer needing them to start. Elias thanked his neighbor and went back inside. He didn't open the spreadsheet. Instead, he opened a blank notebook and wrote down one single sentence for the next morning. He turned off the big overhead light, leaving only a small lamp by the door. He realized that the room was still there, even in the shadows. He finally slept, content to let the future remain a mystery, knowing that when the sun rose, it would only ever show him one day at a time. And that, he realized, was more than enough.